A firestorm ignited J.D. Vance's controversial comment. J.D. Vance, the author of Hillbilly Elegy and a Republican Senate candidate, finds himself at the center of a political firestorm. His comments about prominent Democrats have sparked outrage and reignited a debate about family values in politics. Vance's words have drawn criticism from both sides of the aisle, raising questions about the tone and direction of political discourse. Vance's comments, which target Vice President Kamala Harris and other Democrats, have been labeled as offensive and insensitive. Critics argue that his remarks perpetuate harmful stereotypes and contribute to a toxic political environment. The controversy surrounding his statements has put a spotlight on the deep divisions within American society. This incident is not an isolated one. It reflects a broader trend of increasingly polarized political rhetoric. As the 2024 election cycle heats up, it remains to be seen how this controversy will impact Vance's candidacy and the broader political landscape. The nation watches as this story continues to unfold. Childless cat ladies. The words that sparked outrage. At the heart of the controversy lies a comment made by J.D. Vance during a podcast interview. He referred to prominent female Democrats, including Vice President Kamala Harris, as childless cat ladies. Vance used this phrase to criticize what he perceives as an attack on traditional family values by the Democratic Party. This comment immediately drew sharp criticism for its blatant sexism and reductive stereotyping. Critics argue that Vance's words are not only offensive, but also reveal a deep-seated bias against women who choose not to have children. The phrase cat lady itself carries negative connotations, often used to portray women as lonely, bitter, and out of touch. By using this language, Vance taps into a long history of sexist tropes used to undermine and discredit women in positions of power. His comments have been condemned by women's rights groups and advocates for gender equality. They argue that such rhetoric has no place in modern political discourse. Biden's endorsement reignites the debate. The controversy surrounding Vance's comments resurfaced with renewed intensity following President Biden's endorsement of Vice President Harris for re-election. Vance, a vocal critic of the Biden administration, seized on the endorsement to reiterate his previous statements. He argued that Biden's decision to back Harris, a woman he previously labeled as a childless cat lady, further demonstrates the Democratic Party's disconnect from traditional family values. Vance's comments ignited a media firestorm, with political commentators and pundits weighing in on the implications of his statements. Critics accused Vance of deliberately using inflammatory language to score political points and appeal to a specific base of voters. They argued that his comments are a distraction from the real issues facing the country and contribute to a climate of division and hostility. Vance doubles down, defending his stance on family values. In the aftermath of the renewed controversy, J.D. Vance appeared on The Megyn Kelly Show, a platform known for its conservative viewpoint. During the interview, Vance defended his use of the phrase childless cat ladies, arguing that it was not intended to be offensive, but rather a reflection of his belief in the importance of traditional family structures. Vance asserted that the Democratic Party's policies, in his view, undermine the traditional family unit. He cited examples such as support for abortion rights and LGBTQ+ equality as evidence of this alleged attack on family values. Vance's comments on The Megyn Kelly Show did little to quell the controversy. Instead, they further inflamed tensions and sparked accusations of bigotry and intolerance. Section 5. A History of Controversy. Vance's pattern of targeting Democrats. This is not the first time J.D. Vance has made headlines for his controversial remarks about Democrats. His comments about childless cat ladies are part of a larger pattern of rhetoric that critics argue is divisive and harmful. Vance has repeatedly targeted Democrats, particularly women and minorities, with inflammatory language. He has accused Democrats of waging a cultural war on traditional values and institutions. Vance often frames his arguments in terms of a battle between rural, working-class Americans and an out-of-touch urban elite. This populist rhetoric has resonated with a segment of the electorate, but it has also alienated and offended many others. Section 6. Harris and Buttigieg respond, defending family and commitment. Vice President Kamala Harris and Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg, both frequent targets of Vance's criticisms, have spoken out against his remarks. Harris, in a rare public rebuke, called Vance's comments hurtful and divisive. She emphasized the importance of respecting diverse family structures and life choices. Buttigieg, who is gay and raising twins with his husband, delivered a powerful response, highlighting the hypocrisy of Vance's attacks on his family. He emphasized that love and commitment are what define a family, not adherence to a narrow definition. Buttigieg's comments resonated with many who saw them as a powerful defense of LGBTQ+ families and a rejection of Vance's divisive rhetoric. Section 7. A divided public reactions to Vance's comments. As expected, J.D. Vance's comments have elicited a wide range of reactions from the American public. Opinions are sharply divided along partisan lines, reflecting the deep polarization that characterizes contemporary American politics. Vance's supporters applauded his willingness to speak his mind and defend traditional values. They see him as a courageous voice for a silent majority that feels ignored by the political establishment. On the other hand, Vance's critics condemned his comments as offensive, sexist, and out of touch with the realities of modern American life. Section 8. Political fallout. The impact on the campaign trail. The controversy surrounding J.D. Vance's comments has undoubtedly shaken up the political landscape. It remains to be seen whether this controversy will ultimately help or hurt his candidacy. Some analysts believe that Vance's remarks will galvanize his base of support, particularly among social conservatives. They argue that he is tapping into a vein of cultural anxiety that runs deep within a segment of the electorate. Others, however, predict that Vance's inflammatory rhetoric will alienate moderate voters and ultimately damage his chances of winning the election. Section 9. The bigger picture polarization and rhetoric in American politics. The controversy surrounding J.D. Vance's comments is a symptom of a much larger problem, the increasing polarization of American politics. In today's hyper-partisan environment, civil discourse has become increasingly rare, replaced by inflammatory rhetoric and personal attacks. This trend is fueled by a number of factors, including the rise of social media, the 24-hour news cycle, and the growing influence of political extremes. As the 2024 election approaches, it is imperative that we find ways to bridge the divide and engage in respectful, productive dialogue. The future of American democracy may depend on it.